Pretty nutty ending to last episode, Gachiakuta, episode 21. To start this episode, we get to see what transpired in order for Enjin to get to Rudo, and it turns out that he jumped straight from the pipeline. Bundus was confused because he thought there is no way you can find your friends. So we see Enjin grinding down with his umbrella because, of course, there's like that slope. Finally, he transforms it and he rides it out of there. And soon after, both of the Santas leave off as well, leaving Bundus behind. Finally, we get back to where we were, and we get to see Zodal talking to Engine. And there is something we find out that in fact he uses Umbrella to drill through the body of this trash piece. Not only that, well, we can look at Zodal's face. It looks like a part of it has transformed. As Zodal continues to talk to Engine, he prepares himself for one more person to join this battle. Suddenly, appearing is both the Santas, Ryu, and of course, the very hurt Zonka. So the group begin to have a little family catch up, and we get to find out that Engine actually carved a pathway, that way Ryo could get through. Not only that, but Gita is seen down there, and we get to find out what happened to her. She actually hit her head, which we can presume is from the earthquake. Right after that family catch up, we get to see Zodal punch away Rudo. Now the two are facing against each other, and this is where Rudo is basically saying, my team is here, and the core's right there. The cleaners are ready to do their job. But Zodal switches around, and he's basically saying, we'll observe what happens when it crosses the border, and of course this trash piece has begun to take off. We cut to the opening and we come back. This is where we get to see Rio put down Zonka. Right after that, another big earthquake erupts. Everyone inside begins to shift once again, and this is where Zodal takes the front wheel and he says, at last, outside we get to see this trash piece is finally took off the ground. After the title card playing, this is where we see Rudo run off. Zodal is pretty distracted, and Rudo's going on about how he's already seen a trash piece in his training that is pretty similar. He takes something out of his pouch, which is one of the pieces of trash, he transforms it, and he pulls out a gun. It looks pretty dope. This is where he says, we can consider it cleaned. Rudo begins to fire off this gun, and it's shooting just like a machine gun. We have Engine who's just really excited, and the other thing is, Rio gets to find out they're actually inside of a trash piece. But as we get to look, this is where we get to see Bundus' hands actually catch the bullets, and they do not hit the core. It also seems like whatever Rudo's using is some sort of nail gun, because he is shooting out nails. Zol makes sure to tell him this experiment isn't over. Bundus then makes his grand entrance, and it's really odd to find out this older guy is a newbie when it comes to these raiders. So now the cleaners have a new obstacle, the rookie Bundus, and as each one would go in, Bundus would add a hand to fight against them. It's looking pretty scary for him. As Bundus is talking, we get to find out more about his vital instrument. My hands are prosthetic arms that become part of me when I reached certain ages. So while Bundus is taunting her group, we have a cut to see Cthulhu come out of a portal. She begins speaking about the rookie, and then we get to see who she's speaking to. It is Hugh, who is absolutely still alive, and she wants to get right back to the battle. We come back, and the battle has finally started. Bundus is insane. None of the cleaners so far can get past him. And as this is going on, we have some additional things to kind of talk about here. So, Bundus keeps talking about each hand and when he gained them. And if you remember correctly, as you care for a vital instrument, over time it becomes stronger. And somehow he has multiple of them, but they are all the same vital instrument, if that makes sense. After we learn about Bundus' hands, this is when we have Bro Santa talking, and it turns out that the cleaners have all gotten separated by each individual hand of Bundus's, and he made sure to put them up against each one that could deal with them easier. And we get this look at each individual hand and what they kind of look like. There is certainly a difference between each of them. Bro Santa then mentions how Bundus is a seasoned veteran, and the next thing he says kind of takes our interest. If only we had Gita's power at our disposal, which she is still knocked out. So a lot is currently going on. We get to hear from Zodel that Bundis is a very rare type that has multiple vital instruments. Cthulhu comes in, and this is when we learn that Jabra has recovered for sure. Not only that, but Zodel wants to get out of here. Now, as the fighting's happening, we can kind of talk about these hands a little bit. So, the one that Rio's matched up against, I thought it was going to be like scissor hands, but it's just her scissors we were seeing, not the vital instruments, which is something I thought was pretty confusing to me at first. But maybe it has some additional hardening or a special metal where she can't cut it very easily. The one that Engine's against has like cable fingers that shoot out, which is pretty interesting. The one that Dear Santa's against is little creatures that start punching him, and of course, I feel bad for the little guy because he gets beat to a little pulp there. Now, we see Rudo just kind of minding his own business. He looks into his pocket, and one of those fingers of Bundus's is there. Suddenly, he gets smashed down by one of the hands. Now, this is when Rudo sees Bundus as this big obstacle, and he's thinking about how to get past them. Suddenly, he turns to his gloves, 3R, and it's almost like we see Rudo go into this Super Saiyan mode. He's getting stronger all of a sudden. We just see this red swallow him completely. There's this cut. We come back and it's almost like Rudo's in this dream. Everything is all white and there's trash flowing and he's fallen in the sky. And he talks about getting stronger. As we come back, he drastically upsizes his gun. It is a monster. And Boondis is like, what's that then? After this giant gun reveal, Rio is confused on if maybe Rudo switched out his weapon for another piece of trash, and this is when Engine has to explain it to her. We do get to learn the way that his gloves actually work, the way it's able to do multiple vital instruments is because he's splitting the power of his gloves 3R between each one. And what we're currently seeing is he's focusing all of that power into one piece. Please excuse my language, but I just want to say this is just a badass moment right now. So there is this scare that Rio has that Rudo is using all of his power into one vital instrument. You remember last time he passed out. Even Bundus brings this up and talks about how he's inexperienced and yeah, he's pretty scared. He's going to put it all on the line to protect himself from Rudo because this is powerful. This thing is powerful. The metal music is playing and we get to see Rudo fire off this gun. There's like electric lightning coming from it. It's insane. The nail flies directly at Boondus. He has his hands out. He catches it, but this thing is so powerful that it's pushing him back. Till finally, he does get a hold of it. Boondus calls it unrefined, and he thinks he's winning this thing. But what we see next from Rudo is he waves down just like a general calling fire. Again, it shoots out another nail. This time, this nail hits the other one, making it go even deeper into the hand. It's insane, man. This results in Bundus' hands getting obliterated into little tiny pieces. Bundus grabs out. He's got members attached to these things, but they're all gone in an instant. That same nail that went through this, it actually hits near the core. Doesn't hit the center at all, though. After the enemy takes a huge blow, there's some things to look at. So we go back to the engine and the others. This is where Zodel is there, and his mood has completely changed. It's almost like he's staring daggers, and Engine sees this. Now, when we go back to Rudo, he's now down on the ground, and this is when his weapon disintegrates, but not only that, he is feeling some empathy when it comes to Boondus, because he was really attached to this weapon. So here's something quite surprising. We get to see Zol ask Bundus to join him, even after his failure, and this is based off of his capabilities. My goodness. So Zodel just wants to get out of here. This whole time, it had nothing to do with Rudo's mission. Instead, it was finding out more information about the cleaners, which is just something insane, and shows you there is really more to Zodel than we all thought. Now this is quite the plot twist. We see Boondus get up like there's nothing to it, and he begins to walk off. This is where Rudo's like, what about your vital instrument? all at once, Boone just points to his shoulder, and we get to see all these broken pieces begin to pick themselves up and go straight back to his shoulder, repairing itself. And here we are with the episode finale. So, Zoldyck and the others begin to make their leave out of Cthulhu's portal, and this is where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here as guinea pigs, starts this argument with Bruto, but what is said next is that there is going to be one enthusiastic rookie, which Zoldyck was talking about, and we're just like, wait, what? All at once we see this like electricity, and we already know that it is Hugh. She makes her big grand appearance, and what could be her insane form? I don't know. There's like flames, there's the hair. It's gonna go really hard, I feel like. I'm glad that my birthday ran on the sacred Gachiakuta day, aka trash anime. Not trash as in bad, but the anime where they literally take trash to fight each other, which is insane to think about. Now, lots of action in this one. Got to learn more about Ruda's gloves, which is always nice. I like the lore in this anime, I think it's pretty rich so far, and of course that's because it's season 1. But hopefully it carries over into season 2. Looks like the Raiders might be catching out a little earlier, and eventually they'll make their return, I presume, in maybe the second season. But they're still here for now, so within the next 2-3 episodes, I presume that they're going to be gone, and they're going to have like one big fight. But it seems like Hugh right now is the end opponent before they have to fight this trash monster, and I suspect that they aren't going to make it all the way up. And that's gonna kind of unveil maybe some things we didn't know before. So some more lore, which I do love about these first seasons. We get to learn a lot about the universe and new things at all times. I don't want to go too much on because I feel like I'm just spitting randomness at this point. But if I had to rate this episode, I'm gonna say it is the 9.3, absolutely well deserved. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta episode 21. Hope you guys stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.